Yeah, welcome back to Tri-State of Mind, everybody. What do you want to get into this week?
Oh, what are
Oh
we
man,
getting
I
into this week? What has not been
yeah,
getting into? What does Trump not have
yeah.
his
What can
hands in?
Well, I'll tell you what, they're just giving us ammo at this point. I mean, by the case, like
facts.
it's pretty nuts out there. So
Yeah.
So,
It is
yeah, he
yeah,
wild.
doesn't care about the American people. How about that one?
I
Let's
know,
just
I
start it
know. I
out how it
saw
is.
that
How it is.
he officially said the quiet part out loud. So now it's no secret. Everybody knows. Mr. Trump does not think about the American people or their financial situations. All he cares about is Iran can't have one of them damn dare nuclear weapons, by golly.
And 3,700 trade transactions. He loves that too. He's worried about his trade transactions as well.
Oh my God, right. Yeah, all his insider trading. Meanwhile, we still got people starving pygmies down there in New Guinea, and he's just off there out there playing golf. This is absolutely nuts.
There's a
Or
lot of it too.
how about how about the fact that they're cutting the training for military medics? Have you
Yeah.
I
heard that
mean,
one?
No.
I hadn't heard that one, but I'm not surprised in the least.
Yeah, I'm talking about medevac, emergency situation medics that come into the field and for injured or for
No
dying
way.
soldiers. They are cutting the training and the resources for the medics to actually be able to provide them life-saving care. Cutting the training.
That's
How do you
insane.
it's depopulation, man. Damn it. Oh man. It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Starting with
Yeah.
It's like
our own
playing
children.
yeah. It's playing G.I. Joe and G.I. Jane with your kids in real life. It's like a real game of Risk for them. And they're just having fun with it.
Exactly. Kind of convenient they're talking about doing this right as we're standing on what, two, three different pandemics that are going around. Well, we got hantavirus, we got Ebola going around apparently.
Neuro,
Like,
Oh, but that's why
neuro
I mean, come
something
on now.
virus.
You look at But look at the funding cut previously before everything just slid in conveniently afterwards.
Hey,
Like, I
just drink
mean,
some bleach, y'all. It'll be fine.
yeah, I mean, call me a
yeah,
conspiracy theorist, but it all just looks weirdly coincidental that all of it kind of just lined up all together to be happening. Like it's weird.
yeah,
How much can happen in one person's
Oh, right.
term? Like,
But it's
in a
Hollywood.
day.
right. Yeah. I mean, well, and that's the question, right? How much can happen in a term? This dude's been doing this much in a year. Like, it hadn't even been a full term.
Right.
Ain't even been 2
We're
years
early
yet.
on in year number two. I know it's exhausting. It's so bad. It's
It's for
just so bad.
but it's for reasoning because they know that this is his last term. They know that
Mhm.
he Donald Trump just wants to be famous. He's already said it himself. He's going to be
Infamous.
one of the most popular people that ever walked earth. And that's all he gives a shit about. He doesn't care about, he probably
Mhm.
doesn't give too much shits about his own family and what happens afterwards. He knows that he's going to be talked about for years and years and years to come. And that's the only thing that matters is that he's the main focus. And it's just knowing that they're setting up what's coming after right now. They're trying to figure it all out for the vice president next because
Mhm.
JD has been sat here and farmed by Peter Thiel and all of them through the Heritage Foundation. Peter Thiel is one of his biggest backers, trying to
Yep.
help him get to where he's going in his political career.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna go down in infamy. He's not gonna be famous. He's gonna be infamous.
I'm getting all the attention, like
It's all
ah,
about me. Look at me, the clown. Can
right,
I dance for you?
right.
Right, exactly. He's the face that you get to see on the TV, but these ideas are coming from people who, are holding the little mechanisms right over here while, Trump's just got the strings attached to his arms. And that's one of those arguments right there that I use. That's the one of the more powerful ones against those people who, are still on the voting changes things, type of mentality. Because again, sure, you're changing this level, but there's a whole level up here that you're not even that you don't get to vote for. You have no clue who these people are. You don't know names, you don't know faces, you don't know none of this, but they're the ones coming up with the policies. The guy that you just put in the office right there, sure, he's the one who gets to deliver the message, but he's not the brains behind the scheme. So, yeah.
So who are we
Facts.
gonna rely on for the brains in society and what we're gonna do about it?
Hey,
Fuck the
listen,
brains in the
that's
government.
Right.
Let's talk about the
no,
brains
that's
out
perfect.
here.
That's perfect because everything is based off of what you perceive it as, right? So Tim has his feelings about things. I have my feelings about things. Steph has her feelings about things. Steph is more in the lines of, kind of staying in pace and getting people that actually want to benefit in the voting system and in the way the government kind of operates now, just not the way they operate. And then Tim is more of the, hey, let's get back to us doing it. We can do it. We got this. We can. And I'm out here squiggling the lanes. You know what I mean? Because my thing is that a whole bunch of people have to perceive the same thing at one given time for this to work out properly. And if you don't
Right.
have enough grasp and attention or reach, we can sit here and talk to 27, 30, 40 people every single day, of the probably half of the same people continuously. And when we're just going to try to smally roll this thing until you get it to be massive enough to actually make a change. So the way that you want to see things is basically the only way that you're going to see them. And to be able to step beside yourself and get rid of your wants or how you feel about things and look at people's perception of things in a different manner. So taking yourself away from how you feel on the matter and seeing how this person may feel or this person may feel. Whether you feel they're right or wrong about it, it's not your case to feel whether they're right or wrong, because you're not right and they're not right. So we have to get to a spot where we can start allowing conversation to happen without it being, but I feel this way more about something than you do, so this is more important.
But here's the rock
Yeah.
and the hard place, y'all. Okay, check it. Now, what you just said, Vinny, we got different ways of getting there, right? We got this method, this method, this method. But either method that we decide or happen to come across, therein lies the problem. It's the same problem though, that we need enough people. Either way it goes, for any which way, either method we choose,
Yes, ma'am.
it needs to be
No, you're
enough
right.
people involved, and we
Mhm.
can't get enough people together. So we can pick and
Right,
Right.
choose
because
which method it
we,
may be, but either way, we come into the same brick wall every time.
right, because we don't
Mhm.
we can't stand here, and a lot of it, now listen, this isn't to boost up women for you, but this, a lot of it is a male type ego. So me and Tim could sit here and say, well, we've changed everything and now we're going to turn around and fix everything and we're going to make it better. Well, who's going to lead that charge? Me and Tim can say, hey, we could figure this out together and put more people involved, so we're all kind of communalizing and coming to an agreement as a group. So hey, if it doesn't work, everybody fails. If it works, everybody succeeds. Or we can turn around and we can have that male dominant ego in a sense of, no, I'm gonna show everybody how to do it. Follow me. I'm gonna be. There's that greed and that narcissism and that want to have the control,
Mhm.
that power. So it's when are we gonna lose that formality of wanting to have a higher level for ourselves than someone else? That's where it comes back to, even in your perception. Like, it's knowing that you can look at someone else's case and want to help rather than just benefiting yourself out of it. Like, it's hard to do. It's hard to grasp a whole village of people to turn around and make them think and correlate them one way, unless you have a whole shitload of media platforms that you've bought in the monopolization factor to continuously control the mindset and shove it down their throat for a long ass period of time to make them think that you come out here and do something for us and go ahead and vote this way. You're signing a contract to say that you're going to watch me lead this thing the way I want to lead it, and you're just going to agree at the time because you voted for me. So just as when you get
Mhm.
that little agreement on your phone for whatever application you sign and put down, and you say, I agree to those terms, your vote is essentially the same thing. If, for HOA perspectives, if you sign your proxy and hand it in without going in to make your vote loud and speak your voice, that proxy is you signing away the fact that they can vote for you. They can do it for you. So there has to be more transparency between the doing it for me and understand that you're working for me, not just doing for me. My tax money is paying you to work for me at the same time. It's been flipped. We're the workers when we're actually the bosses.
Mhm.
And that, just maybe, the system that we have conformed has never actually really worked for us, and we're just kind of treacherously following the same inevitable story and movie again and again and again.
Right. Yeah, just a hamster wheel that goes on forever and ever. And another place where I see a lot of people, struggling to figure out some common ground is, everybody asks the question, you're like, okay, well, if we tear all this down, what are we going to replace it with? And I kind of had an interesting thought about that recently, and I was like, everybody wants to have a solution, right? Because I guess there's comfort in knowing what the future is going to look like if enough of those people finally do wake up and realize what the hell's happening, and we make the decision to finally start changing things. Well, the question is, what does that look like? you know. And I'm seeing a lot of difficulty in people, coming to common ground with that because everybody has their different idea of, what we need to make society better. Oh, we need the shorter, we need shorter term limits, for the candidates. Oh, we just need younger candidates. We need guys who aren't in there that are like, Social Security number one, or this and that, the other, different solutions, right? But my interesting thought that I recently had was kind of like one of the things I said in a recent video is, if you're in a situation where somebody's hands are around your neck, just like the government has their hands around our neck right now, do you have to have your whole afternoon planned out before you make the decision to take the hand off the neck? Or are you going to go ahead and just remove their hand first and then figure out what to do with your
Well,
afternoon
sure.
later on?
That's what you do.
Kind of the same scenario right here, Everybody's like, well, we can't just resort to anarchy because who would be in charge? Who would make the rules? What would we do? You know what? We can figure that out. At the very least, we know that the situation we're in right now is not working. It hasn't worked for 250 years, and a lot of us are figuring that out. I'm excited to see what these younger generations do with this information because when they start coming in and taking down and replacing, all these old geezers that have got us stuck under their thumb, that's one of the things I think that makes this show so great is because we have these different perspectives, right? We're able to have a conversation, which is really the most important thing that we can do right now is talk to each other, and make sure that we keep voicing the truth in a time when kids are still going to public school, which we know by now is indoctrination camps. So while we're out here trying to fight to wake people up, every day there's another child who's being put to sleep and being indoctrinated because the public school system ain't stopped. The trafficking system hasn't stopped. None of that's stopped. It's still happening while we're talking about all this other stuff.
Right.
You
Right.
know, you brought up a very good point that hasn't really been said out loud. And when are we going to stop allowing them to unalive us? As like not, metaphorically. Like
I mean,
it's self defense at this point. Honestly,
And
facts. That's all it's
yeah,
ever been.
what I mean, it's literally self defense if we do decide to fight back. When we decide to fight back.
Right. But
right.
you got to realize too, though, if there's a scenario in that scenario as well, if everybody breaks apart and that becomes what it is, then people are going to have to group up. It's going to have to become you kind of conforming to a community and a group, no matter what that looks like, where they come from, where you settle, whatever the case may be. Because there are, listen, they've already programmed people to take advantage of other people. They've already installed a lot of stuff in people's heads where we can just go out here and take what we want rather than going ahead and trying to be a part of the system. So this is still a reality that's going to have to be faced in some terms. But like
Mhm.
it's just a level of they've already built their army. Like you go to town halls and the police are there protecting the councilmen and stuff for law and order. Like you can't go to a town hall and have a conversation where it's not going to break out into something that turns irrational. Like
Mhm.
we have to pay attention to that. Like this is our town hall meetings. We can't become civilized. Why? Because you're going to blame it on the people that show up there to voice their opinion, but that's their community to have that opinion. And
Right.
yes, where some people overstep the boundary a little bit, when you hear of something that a zoning thing that messes with your property or changes something that you're used to, you have the right to have that feeling when someone just takes something away from you or changes something without you being able to stop it or have an opinion or say. And we just have to see that all of that has been turned in this direction because you can look at all of the wordage on bunkers and all of this other stuff that they have and like listen, you don't think that they won't bring the protection with them to protect those areas too? What just happened at the White House the other day? And what happened when everybody ran in? They sent other people out there to go stand out there to go ahead and just
Mhm.
guard the place just in case. So you put those guys' lives that we don't have enough machines and technology right now around that thing to turn around and protect someone without a person having to be out there, or at least have a damn shield or something in front of them once that scenario broke out.
Yeah. Where's the flock camera footage?
And the
You
White
mean
House,
tell
you
me?
would think there's
You,
cameras all over the
yeah.
place.
Right. You mean tell me not one camera found it? Because I ain't seen a clip. Not one. I have not seen a one. And I'm glad you brought up kind of those town hall meetings too, because I've seen my fair share of those happen. Like I watch a lot of videos of them. And some of these people that are speaking up in their town meetings are saying extremely brilliant things. But what's really concerning to me is that when the in the background of the video, when these people are talking to their local politicians in their town hall meetings, the scariest thing to me is the sheer level of disinterest that you can see on the faces of the people sitting up at the bench, and they're listening to all of the things that these seriously concerned citizens are voicing, but the people up on the bench who are in charge of managing that town, that city, whatever, and the environment that surrounds it and everything, you could see it in their faces. A lot of them are barely even looking up at the person that's speaking to them.
They
And
can't. They know that they're doing wrong. They
yeah,
know they can't look people in the eyes and shit on them like
yeah,
that because they might have some kind of conscience. And you know what else is messed? Fact that they are expecting us to not be upset and then get upset at us for getting
right.
upset.
It makes no sense. And I think one of the reasons that those videos are so prominent right now is because we've got this whole, issue with all these data centers that are being built so quickly, right? Why are these going up so fast? But that's a hot topic for these town hall meetings right now. So that's why there's so many videos of them. And what's just insane to me is like these people, these genuine, good-hearted, citizens of these towns saying brilliant things and voicing their concerns. But these people that lead the cities are just pun intended, bulldozing over their words, and they continue to just build the data centers anyway. And then you get the follow-up videos later on of like what people's water looks like afterwards. Again, no concern, not the slightest bit of concern on the faces of the people sitting up on the bench that are supposed to be taking care of the people that they say they represent. You voted me in, so I would take care of you, but nothing. They're just robotic, zombie
Like,
like.
who needs they already have all our data. Like who needs that much data centers to house more data, honestly? I really believe that some of them are concentration camps. For when they start,
Yeah, and I
when
don't
the
disagree.
jobs take over, when the AI takes over, people are, without a job, so they're homeless, after a while, and then they want to criminalize that, so they throw us in these concentration camps. That's what they're setting up for, I believe.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna get your robotic soldiers at some point, and this is literally just in case the fact that the military power that we've built decides, hey, we're not going to work for you because you're hurting our own people. Now we have a whole bot rollout of people that can go ahead and keep you controlled and contained. If this is the way that it's going, like AI is taking over pretty much everything. They're listening to us on our phones now. They don't allow you to take the battery out anymore, so that way they can constantly have your phone on and track where your location is at all times.
Right.
Like if you think you're hiding information on your phone from somebody, you're fucking not.
Hmm.
If somebody wanted to have all of your information, they'd have it like that. It doesn't like
Mhm.
you're a potato chip and you think that you're a bag of chips, okay? If
Mhm.
you've become big enough, they're going to come for you. But while you're little fishing in the middle of nothing, you might get a little pull on a line here and there, but they're not worried about you. If they want it, they can have it. Like this is the digital age. Crypto, once it flips to all of that's coded. You don't think it can't be coded differently for things to go different places without you ever really knowing about it? You got to pay attention. AI might be the ruining of everything, to be honest.
Mhm.
And in some
Yeah.
cases,
Facts.
Yeah.
extreme supervalence. You know what I mean? Like,
That-
Yeah, and I don't believe that, there couldn't be a different use for AI. I do believe that good people with good intentions could, engineer and develop a symbiotic relationship that we could have with artificial intelligence. But we know that the people who are making the investments and dumping the type of money that they're dumping into like what they're building, these people don't have good intentions. So what really are they using these things for? And I agree with you, Steph, because I've seen some other people who have offered that type of opinion. There's no way that every single one of these places can just be,
no
you
way.
know, data centers. I mean, how much data honestly can you collect?
No,
And
man.
on how many people that and what makes us so gosh darn interesting? And it's not that we're interesting, it's just that they want to have every single way to control as possible, right? I mean, imagine, the type of television broadcasting that goes on in individual households is completely different and catered to the family that lives within that specific residence because they've built that profile on us. You could have next door neighbors watching two different football games of, their favorite teams that both sides win, and everybody goes to the championship. It's crazy. It's really scary. And they're talking about this massive one that they got out in Utah. What are they talking about? The size of Manhattan, you know, 40 some odd squared. miles of nothing but just freaking data center. What do you need that for?
Exactly.
Yeah, get ready for your energy grid to go up so you can pay for it.
Yeah, the energy grid that's so dilapidated it can barely keep up with what we've got now.
I mean, we spoke about it a million times. It's to keep you where you are. Like they need these people to function the world so that it's like people that need to be rich so they could do whatever the hell they want to and not have to work the lives that we work. Like you shouldn't. No human should work more than they sleep. 8 hours, but it's always the same thing. It's inflation increase first, and then we're going to go ahead and drop it back down a touch, so that way it makes you feel like we gave you something back, and then we're going to leave it right there above where it was before.
Even 8
Mhm.
Same
hours
story.
is more than 8 hours. I mean, you gotta, factor in travel time. You gotta factor in, getting ready in the morning. You gotta factor in, eating breakfast and, you gotta get up
Right.
early and then the commute and then you're commuting after work. And then,
Right.
that shit is not 8 hours. You don't
Oh,
factor
look at
that
how
in,
bosses
Right.
look at how they now they want to turn around and tell you, hey, well, we give you this vehicle to use to go do what you need to do, so you should be, and that's a benefit for you, and you're not actually working when you're driving, you're just going to where you need to work. What? Because I'm not physically exerting myself, that's not work to you.
Yeah, and on that
The
note,
inevitable.
in a regular job that you're using your own vehicle to get to work, to and from work, you should be paid for that time too then.
Oh, look at
I
Amazon and
oh yeah,
DoorDash, they do it
they
to
need
everybody.
time and mileage.
Well,
Yeah,
and
they
mileage.
Amazon, DoorDash, and all them do it to you. They wear your car out. People think that's a great job.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah.
using your own
All
damn
that.
vehicle, and they're not paying you gas. They're giving you $2 on a $12 ride, and they're keeping the most of it, and then telling you got to pay for your own gas. Use your own tires. Use your
Your
own
tires,
vehicle. Wear
your
it out.
oil, you got oil, yeah, change your oil, your the wear and tear, the tires, the brakes, all of that, all of
Yep.
it. It adds up.
Right.
That's the game. It's for less for them to have to spend on things, and for you to do more for them. It's what it is.
Turned everything in life about efficiency and productivity, efficiency and productivity. And the reason that the people up at the top care so much
No
about those
humanity.
particular aspects of that is because they don't actually contribute anything to society. We're doing that, you know. The people who are out here doing the real work, building the stuff, designing the stuff, engineering the infrastructure, and doing the teaching and the healing and all that. We're the ones that are doing all the work. The
Keeping the
people
whole
up
machine
here, you
running.
know, yeah, all they're doing is taking and taking and taking, and they're living off of the blood, sweat, and tears that
They're
all of us
thriving off of the blood,
All
sweat,
right.
putting
and tears
into
of us.
right, you know, and the level of sheer just don't care that they have. I mean, you know, again, you know, Trump, a businessman, said it himself. He don't think about Americans' financial situations. So every single thing that we can see going on right now literally points in the obvious direction of like, okay, now we're figuring this out, you know, and they are not hiding. They're not hiding any of
Not
their
anymore.
yeah, any of their strategies anymore. That's why everything looks exactly the same. I mean, hell, it was just a year ago we were talking about, oh, we had to go over to Iran so we could destroy their, nuclear capability, which apparently we did. And then here we are a year later doing the same thing. What do you mean? I thought a year ago we destroyed it. If we destroyed it, they can't build that back. The pattern at this point has gotten so repetitive and so easy to recognize that anybody who doesn't see it anymore, it's almost embarrassing. Like it really is embarrassing, that we haven't figured out after 250 years that we've been going through it, at least, and that's just in this country.
Tim, did you have to buy your tools that you use for your work?
Yeah,
Like your own?
any mechanic does, right? When you
Okay,
go
right,
into a mechanic job, you have to buy your own tools. Hmm.
right. So the crazy part about that is, okay, like I know that you're looking for a job, you know what I mean, and you have the skills to be a mechanic to do said job, right? But you're
Right.
bringing your own tools and your own work, you get like your own toolbox and everything. Like you have to put your tools in something. You can't just lay them on the ground when you get to the place. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to
Exactly.
bring it
Yep.
all. So you're spending a whole lot of money to do this job, to be able to keep the capability to do this. And you're not the guy that decided to open up a mechanic shop to fix vehicles and then not provide the tools to have the vehicles fixed with. You decided to say, hey, let me go find a guy that knows what the hell he's doing and see if he has the tools so I don't have to pay for anything because we're worried about paying for replacement parts or we're worried about paying
Mhm.
for new tools when we can make some guy that we pay go ahead and use the paycheck that we're paying him to go ahead and pay for the tools that we need him to fix the vehicles that I started the business for.
Mhm.
Listen to what I said, people. I don't care if you got to go back and rewind it. Everything that I just said should blow your mind.
Uniforms. You want me to wear a
Yeah.
uniform and you want me to pay for it.
Yep.
Somebody's going to tell you on top of that, well, that guy's got a lot of expenses he has to handle. He started a business up and he's got a dilly dally in the financials. You know what I mean, my boy? He's got to pay for
He's got
everything, the rent,
overhead.
all that.
He's
Hey,
got taxes.
hey, hey, just as I got to work, I didn't tell him to open that shit up and have all of those costs and those charges too.
That singular fact right now is one of the reasons why my industry is in such deep trouble right now. Like, I'm honestly, I don't know what's going to happen with this particular industry in the near future because there's so many different things happening as far as that goes. Not just what you brought up, like we're losing technicians and we're running out of technicians because the younger generation doesn't want to go into the mechanic field for that being one of the reasons. You have to take on this massive debt of just getting a starter set of tools. Got to have a toolbox, so you have a place to store them. That's one thing. On the other side of the same coin, the automotive technology is accelerating just so quickly, and they're now making it federally mandated for some of these, safety systems. Like, we've been talking about the kill switches that they're talking about putting in these cars. And again, I have not heard of any like trade schools. I used to see commercials all the time for like Universal Technical Institute, or I think another one was like MIT, or there used to be commercials out the wazoo of these trade schools that would deal in automotive technology. I don't see any of those commercials anymore, and I'm not familiar of any like with any trade schools here in my local area. I used to know of at least 3, but I don't even know if they do what they do anymore.
Your profession will be one of the ones that AI is able to take over after, in
Yeah,
the near future.
Right. But it's
yeah,
not
especially
limited to
with all the
just
computer
mechanics.
modules.
Right.
And I mean, there's so many things in this system that kind of have that catch-22 type scenario where it's like you have to get something accomplished, but you have to start here. But in order to start here, you have to have this.
It's like college.
It's like
So,
credit. You gotta
yeah,
have
You gotta
credit
go,
to
you
get
gotta
credit,
go
but
in
you gotta
debt.
get credit to have credit type shit. Like what?
right,
It's like college. You got
exactly.
to go in debt to get there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You got to go in debt to be successful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then you're never really successful because you're steady paying off
Right.
that debt.
Yeah. With interest.
I think
Hey, you went to college. We're not going to give you a flat fee for making yourself smarter and helping the economy out. We're going to go ahead and charge you interest the whole fucking time until you pay it back in full for us.
for
Okay.
the rest of your life and then tax that
Have a,
shit.
have a great
Right.
Uh,
life.
I think we've thrown
It's
enough at everybody for this week. So what y'all think? Last words, last thoughts?
Nah, yeah, for sure. Hey, listen, it's beautiful. I enjoy the growth. I see that, we're touching more people, on the regular platforms where we do all of the lives, TikToks, things like that. Everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And for anybody out there, I would just say that, in the middle of everything that is going on, the best advice I think I could give right now is just find something to hold on to, whatever it is. It could be the littlest thing, but find something to hold on to that, gets you through these crazy times. You know, I have found myself becoming quite the nihilist, and I'm like, what's coming is coming, and it's put me in a bit of a dark night of the soul for a while. So make sure you take care of yourself, find something to hold on to, and take breaks from all this crazy information because it's a lot, and they do it on purpose. It's part of the propaganda. It's part of what keeps us all just at each other's throats, and it doesn't stop. So make sure you give yourself those breaks and take care of yourself.
Or come to TikTok. The names are up there on the screen. Just come to TikTok and talk to us about it there if you like.
It wouldn't be tri-state if we didn't have
Yep.
Vinny's forehead in there every once in a while.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right,
I'm gonna
well,
buy the skull shaver and we're gonna do it live on a live
hey, let's do
episode
it.
of TikTok.
Let's do a challenge. Shave Vinny's head. Let's see how
There
much.
you
If
are.
you don't listen, if you donate, no, I'm sorry.
Right. Join us next week for Tri-State number 6, where we'll have some more
You know,
shenanigans from the shenanigans coming from the top.
That's right. There's no shortage of things to pick on. That's for sure.
Hey.
I don't know, a lot to talk about. So get in
Come
there,
back
get to
next week.
TikTok. Hey, give us some ideas. Get in there on TikTok. You
Yeah,
want us to hear us talk
comment,
about something? Get in.
That's right.
comment.
Drop it in the comments. Tell us what you want us to talk
Yeah,
about.
get in
Talk
there
about
like my
Vinny's
forehead.
forehead if you got to. Just talk about something. Tell us something. Give us something. Like,
That's it.
share, sub, all of that. See y'all
All the
next week
things.
right here on Tri-State of Mind. Have a good week.
Hey.